Today, we start our trip at the Medical Center Metro Station, just north of Bethesda, Maryland. It's just after 5 p.m. on Thursday, July 4th, which means the Metro is free, system-wide, until the end of the day. Medical Center Station was dead at the time, and it had a very ominous vibe due to the rain and the low ridership. I caught a train southbound and traveled 2 stops to Friendship Heights, which was also very dead at the time. I had lots of time to kill, so I took bus 33 down to the Safeway on Wisconsin Avenue to use the restroom. I then noticed that bus D2 would take me straight to DuPont Circle Metro Station, so I took it there. Remember, it's free. I then took the Metro from DuPont Circle to L'Enfant Station. The train filled up at the Metro Center Station, as it often does, and it became the second busiest Metro train I have ever seen. I didn't mind much because my back was to the wall and I was already sitting on buses for a while. I met a visitor from California who didn't know what station to get off at, so I explained to her that everyone was going to get off at Smithsonian Station and just follow the crowds. She got off at Smithsonian and hopefully had a great night. I also noticed that at Smithsonian Station, they had police telling people which direction to go as the massive crowd exited the train. This is something I'd never seen anything like before. They even had tape roping off certain parts of the station to keep visitors from going the wrong way. I got off at the following station, L'Enfant Plaza, with a much smaller group of people. I decided to take exit C, also known as the astronaut exit, into the L'Enfant Plaza, a mall-ish-like area with tons of food options. It took me a second to figure out how to get out of the building to the street, but I finally made it. This is when I got a message from my friend Andy, who you'll see in a future video. His group was stationed on the other side of the National Mall near the Lincoln Memorial. I knew it was going to be a long walk, but I did not expect it to take as long as it did. I started my walk, and then he also sent me a picture with the street and mall closures, which meant I had to walk the long way around, which I was not expecting. It took around 30 minutes for me to walk there, but we were finally able to meet up. We enjoyed a humid but bearable evening of conversation. I was able to meet a friend of Andy's who commutes to his bartending job in DuPont by motorcycle, which is just something I would never consider myself. The night descended on the National Mall and the fireworks began. As some folks around me filmed vertically on their phones, I did my best to keep my phone out of my hands and live in the moment, even if that means my brain randomly thinking about a bunch of different topics. The fireworks finale ended with the Stars and Stripes Forever. I still think that the national anthem would have been better to finish on, but I'm not bitter about it. I recommended that we stay back and wait for the crowds to dissipate, but the rest of the group didn't want to stay back, so off we went into the crowds towards the metro station. We walked in the middle of the closed-down street along hundreds of other people to the Foggy Bottom metro station. Once we got to the streets that were not closed to vehicle traffic, it got slower due to the fact everyone had to navigate the somewhat narrow sidewalks. Once we arrived at the metro station, we had to wait about 5 minutes as the crowd slowly descended down the escalator and stairs into the station. Which side is us? Here. Left side?
Well, it's an island platform.
Oh, right. Doesn't matter. I don't really like the other ones because sometimes I don't know which way to go. Oh yeah, let's get a video. I want to get a video of this. This was in fact the busiest, most crowded metro station I had ever seen. And I just had to get this video for both you guys and myself. Andy went ahead and let me know that the best place to stay on a platform would be at the end of the line, where there's always less people. This makes intuitive sense, especially in hindsight, but I may have been dumb and waited in the lines like everyone else. Thank you, Andy. We waited for a few minutes and the next Orange Line train came in. It was an 8-car train, and since we were at the end of the platform, we were on the final car of the train. Most of the train cars were absolutely filled with people at crush capacity. However, ours was standing room only, but you still had room to breathe and move around compared to the sardines that the other ones were.
Are you saying that we might be in the video this Sunday?
Maybe.
Yeah.
That was
You know, we went to an editor. This is why they say don't do transfer. I said goodbye to Andy at an Arlington station and waited for my Silver Line train up to Wheelie Reston East, where the car was parked. It only took a few minutes for the next train to come that was a Silver Line train that would take me straight to where I needed to go. The problem was it was a 6-car train rather than an 8-car train, and every single car was filled to the brim. I made my way to the final car of the train that looked a little less packed, and I got in as soon as the doors were closing. Another rider had to pull me in so my backpack would not be crushed by the doors and slow down the train. This train was absolutely pushed to crush capacity all the way to Wheelie Reston East Station. Some people got off, but other people got on at the suburban stations, which was kind of funny to see. If I were them, I just would have waited for the next few. Again, I didn't feel too bad. I was sitting for a few hours, so standing wasn't too bad, and my back was to the wall again, so I wasn't in the middle of a bunch of people. Many people got off at the Wiley-Resnick station, but the train was still standing room only as it continued onto phase 2 of the Silver Line. This is absolutely the busiest I have ever seen the Silver Line, and it was absolutely the busiest Metro train I had ever been on within living memory. On July 5th, the day after, Metro announced that Innovation Center, along with Herndon, 2 Silver Line Phase 2 stations, saw their highest single-day ridership ever in their short 1.5-year histories, and also that 440,000 people rode Metro on the 4th, which is similar numbers to a midweek workday post-COVID. I will put the individual ridership numbers in the description as they become available later in the week. So, why was it free after 5 p.m.? Well, there are many reasons that I can think of. Number 1, to encourage people to take the Metro rather than driving and causing terrible traffic and also lots of local pollution. Number 2, encouraging people to visit the city, maybe spend a little bit of money, always good for tax reasons. 3, the massive crowds at the stations would be even slower to get through the gates, which could lead to crush and crowd crushing, which can be deadly in certain circumstances. Number 4, shows out-of-towners and locals who don't use the Metro very often how solid the service can be even when pushed to its maximum capacity. And number 5, to lower the amount of drunk driving and give people a reliable and cheap way back home. I made plans to do this less than a week before it happened. Andy only confirmed a few days before, and I didn't even know where I was going to find the time, as I am doing an accelerated college class over the summer, taking an unofficial math class so I can pass a harder math class this fall and next spring so I'm able to go to Virginia Tech next fall. Fingers crossed, God willing. This was a fun diversion from the normal day-to-day life, and I'm glad that I was able to do it. Everything is more fun with friends, and I hope to do more things with them and with others in the future. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.